Hello there, and welcome to another 40k report for the channel. My previous report generated about 4 times the usual subs, and double the usual views, so to my new subscribers, thanks. And
welcome aboard.
This time, I'm taking my Harlequin Craftworlds force against Knights, in a Scars of Battle mission. You'll notice a few tweaks to my usual list. I've stuck with Soaring Spide on the Quinn still, but added a Crimson Hunter, and changed a few things around. Here's our rosters. We placed our objectives like so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 and 3 are behind the buildings. Placement came out pretty symmetrical. The markers belong to my opponent, and are the awesome mousepad material ones from GameEt.eu, with a 3-inch radius. So if you're touching the template, you know you're within 3 inches of the center.
Yes, that makes so much more sense.
Pretty neat. Right, on to deployment. We finally roll frickin' Dawn of War deployment for once, and I have to deploy first. My bikes are fairly central, because if they go off to one side he'll just put his knights in the opposite corner. The only thing you can't see is my second hemlock in the far right corner. Knights deployment is pretty straightforward. Warlord Crusader, and one type of each baby knight, on the far left side, and a mirror image on the right side, with the Castellan in the corner instead. Knights don't seize, so here are my turn 1 cards. Secure 2, Secure 4, and hold the line. Oh, for my mandatory discards, I lost all the Harlequin specific ones. Shit on that. My refined strategy discards were all pretty obvious, with stuff like Witch Hunter and Scour the Skies getting binned. Priority orders received also got discarded.
That's me.
Right, enough preamble, let's do this. Here's turn 1 movement, and my plan is to completely overwhelm this left flank. This is the unit of 6 Skyweavers, who get prismatic blurred. Due to his smart deployment, only the 2 3-man units can get in range of his Warlord Crusader. I keep my Rangers, Dire Avengers, and Solitaires safe in my backfield, with a Ranger squad already securing Objective 4. Psychic sees a few smites go off, and the Crimson Hunter gets fortuned. I fire everything I can at his Warlord, but between low rolls for the number of haywire shots, a 5-up feel no pain stratagem getting popped against the haywire and saving tons of mortal wounds, and rotating ion shields against my planes, I only managed to do 10 frickin' wounds.
That's so stupid!
The big unit of Skyweavers, that couldn't reach the Crusader, do manage to destroy the nearby Warglaive, though. Finally, my Starweaver targets the Helverin on the backline, then fires and fades towards it, so the players and Troop Master inside can unload their fusion pistols on it. It survives with 3 wounds remaining however. For this match I've kept my players as fusion only for the first time, saving 35 points. Their flexibility is reduced, but luckily it doesn't matter too much in this matchup. So in my first turn, I scored first strike, and secure 4. You can't score hold the line in your first turn. Knights turn 1 cards are secure 3, secure 5, and scour the skies. 3 is in their deployment zone so is an easy grab. In movement, the Crusader comes over to threaten a charge against the 2 small bike units. The wounded Helverin retreats over here, and the other 3 knights start heading over from their corner. The Culexus moves up towards my bikes too. No psychic obviously, so in shooting, the Culexus assassin fires at my Doomseer, but only does 5 wounds, leaving him clinging to life with 1 wound remaining.
Thank God.
It's a bit of a shit show from the Castellan and remaining baby knights, too. The Castellan rolls very poorly, and he started with very few command points, so doesn't want to spend them on the bonkers House Raven stratagem. The ones show up in force, and I make a lot of saves, so in total only 2 bikes die. The Crusader then takes aim at the nearby Hamlock, and easily destroys it.
You
The big bastard then charges the one remaining bike from one of the small units, and stomps it into the ground, consolidating into the other small unit. The Kulexis makes a long charge into them too, but doesn't do anything. So Knights score first strike, scour the skies, and secure 3, making it 3-2 to Knights. My turn 2. I already have 2 cards, so draw 1 more, defend 1. That's lucky, as objective 1 is in my deployment zone.
It's free real estate.
Here's my movement on this side of the board. My remaining small bike unit flies up to grab objective 2. My Doomseer flies way over here, getting more than 18 inches away from the Kulexis. The fusion boat gets right up in the Crusader's grill. In the top right, my big bike unit is positioned so it can target either the Crusader or Castellan as required, then charge and finish off the wounded Halverin. My 2 remaining planes fly over the other side of the board, with my Footseer in hot pursuit. You'll notice that I've swapped the Hemlocks round, so that the one on the board is painted. We had a bit of a crisis with the Hemlock's movement, because his assassin had consolidated into it last turn, so it had to fall back, and we initially thought this meant it couldn't pivot and had to fly off the board. However, after much digging and consulting others, we couldn't find anything to back this up, so allowed it to pivot and fly to safety. Please let me know if this was a mistake. After psychic and shooting, his Crusader is somehow still alive, on 1 wound. I was hoping to have the big bike unit and Crimson Hunter free to start softening up the Castellan, but they were both needed to help against the Crusader, and it still wasn't enough. My fusion boat rolled like god-awful shite as usual, of course. Over here, at least the Hemlock performs well, dicking over the Halverin and leaving it with 3 wounds left. So I'm forced into an ugly charge against the Crusader, to try and finish it off with the 3 bikes. I lose 1 to Overwatch, fail to get a wound through, and before I can activate my fight against stratagem, the Knight River dances both of them to death. Fuck's sake. Heh. My pick of the blurred bikes is blurry. Well, these bikes at least do something, charging and finishing off the Halverin as planned. So all I score at the moment is hold the line, from my rangers and whatnot, as I lost objective 2 when the Crusader killed my Skyweavers. That makes it 3-all, then. I've started to defend objective 1 as well. Knight's turn 2 cards are defend 5, Witch Hunter, and secure 6. His Crusader can't quite reach objective 5, due to its nerfed movement. His other Knights head towards my planes, grabbing objective 6 on the way. The Castellan can't quite make it to within 12 inches of my Hemlock. In shooting, the Castellan splits fire between the Hemlock and my fusion boat. The Hemlock does lightning-fast reactions, making the Castellan hit it on 6s.
Oh, wow, God. Wow, I kind of set that one up nicely, didn't I?
It therefore manages to survive combined shooting from the big Knight and the 2 smaller ones, taking only 6 wounds. The Starweaver also survives thanks to its good ol' 4++, so he tries a charge with the Kulexis, but rolls snake eyes. He risks a charge with the Crusader, and survives Overwatch, but rolls another crap charge, a 4, which also fails. He does re-roll a die this time, and makes the charge. The Crusader smashes apart the transport, and the occupants all jump safely out, thanks to my Warlord's relic. At the end of his turn, then, he only scores defense 6, as the Kulexis failed to finish off my Doomseer in shooting, so he doesn't get Witch Hunter. He goes up to 4 points, and I get my 2 points from defend 1, so it's 5-4 to me at the moment. Harlequins turn 3, and I kept secure 2, and now draw Kingslayer and defend 2. My dire Avengers finally come out from behind the ruin where they've been skulking. The badly wounded Doomseer zips across to secure objective 2. And as the players over here cackle maniacally, and prepare to unleash a torrent of fusion fire, the jet bikes and planes over here get ready to start laying into the Castellan. I have 1 CP left, and spend it on one last prismatic blur on the remaining bikes. It's surely one of the best strats in the game.
The results have been incredible.
I don't need the fusion pistols, as the Crusader goes down straight away in Psychic, to a smite from the Doomseer.
We got there in the end.
Geez, I didn't expect to have to finish off that guy in turn frickin' 3, but there you go. On the other side of the board, I do well against the Castellan, doing 22 wounds and leaving it with just 6 left. The Kulexis tanks my fusion shots, so I end up charging him with everyone I can, including the dire Avengers who make a mighty 11-inch charge. I don't kill him, but do 3 wounds, and trap him in combat so he can't run off and attack my Doomseer next turn. I charge in the bikes against the Castellan, along with the Solitaire, who up until now has languished forgotten in one of my backfield ruins. However, only 2 more wounds get through. So I score Kingslayer and roll 1 point, as well as slay the Warlord and secure 2, putting me on 8 points. Knight's turn 3 cards are Honor the House, Blood and Guts, and Witch Hunter. For Honor the House, I nominate the Castellan. There's not a whole lot Knights can do now. Because of the positioning of my units and its degraded movement, the Castellan can't fall back, so it stays in combat and fails to kill anything, but it does survive the turn again. The Warglaive charges my Footseer, hoping to score both Blood and Guts and Witch Hunter, but my saves come good and the Footseer only takes 3 wounds.
You've been pranked!
Over here, I lose a couple of dire Avengers, but finish off the Assassin. Knights score no points this turn then, remaining on 4, while I collect my points for Defend 2, putting my total up to 10. My turn 4 cards are Supremacy, Defend 4, and Assassinate. Well, it's pretty obvious what happens this turn. The Castellan only has 1 wound left. So it gets smited straight away by the Hemlock. It blows up, taking out 2 of the bikes. The bikes still manage to destroy the Warglaive, though. The Crimson Hunter takes the last 3 wounds off the Halverin, and with that, Knights are tabled. I score a point from Supremacy, as well as Assassinate and Linebreaker, making it a 13-4 victory for the Eldar. Thinking about it, this is actually the first time I've beaten Knights. Okay, so I did it with what probably amounts to the best anti-Knight weaponry available, i.e. Haywire, but still, I'll take that. So although I had all the tools needed to make life hell for the Knights, after a lackluster first 2 turns I thought the game would slip away from me, but it turned out that Knights still struggled enough against my defensive profiles for me to claw it back. With so few CPs, Knights also fell prey to some bad rolls, on things like the Volcano Lance for example, with 1s and 2s coming up at the luckiest times for me. Well, that about does it, so thanks for watching.
Like and subscribe.
You filthy animal.